Hello, friend. Jeff G here again. And we're talking more about improvisation. And we're talking now about the B blues scale. Okay? Now, it's in your ebook, annotated, but I'm going to show it to you one time real quick here. And forgive me, I have my piano over here. I have to turn to it. It's B, D, E, F, F sharp, A, B. And I will mention that the B blues scale is not one I use an awful lot. Normally, if I'm doing something in D, I will use the D. I will use the D major chord tones. Just because it's a preference of mine that the scale doesn't really have a lot of handholds to my hands. But you might think that it's really cool and it really seems to work with what you want to do, and that's great. So there's 12 blues scales, and might as well learn them all. But right now, let's talk about the D. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a couple ways to get started with it. One of them is a kind of a lick that is kind of standard. Okay, so got my thumb on the B, my ring finger on here, and I can just slide down. You could throw that in there, and it's going to sound really cool over that D. It's going to sound really cool. So that's one thing. Now, here again, don't feel like you have to copy exactly what I do, because this improvisation is really your own thing. You're really making your own thing here. So with the B blues scale, another technique is to limit yourself to 1, 2, maybe 3 notes. You might just start on that B and go and you know that the tonality is D in this song, so you gotta, your D major chord is right here. But the blues scale, excuse me. But reciting the scale is really different from using the scale. I like to make the joke about, everybody knows their alphabet. But if you ask someone, you know your alphabet, and then you know words, and you know sentences, and how to express yourself. It would be like asking someone, say, what did you eat for breakfast this morning? And they say A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. Start reciting the alphabet. You kind of would do a double question, say, I know you know your alphabet, but I'm asking you to create something with it. The same is true for scales. And although the blues scale, sometimes you can just recite the scale straight up, and it turns out pretty good. But by and large, you want to use your scales creatively. So start with a couple notes, and your assignment is going to be to just play through, let the track play through, start with a couple notes, maybe a B and a D, and just and maybe add an A. And listen to that and see if something comes. I'd recommend you record yourself practicing, because you might come up with some cool stuff that you want to use. So yeah, that's that. And then I was saying about using the scale. You could if you want to really get good at this, play the scale. Whoops, sorry. All over the keyboard. Okay, I hit a clam in there. I really don't use this one much, but if you do that a few times till it's really under your fingers, because ultimately what you really want is when the music starts and the spotlight's on you and you're playing your improvisation, What you really want is to not have to think. You don't want to say, oh, what should I do? What do I, you don't want to be a deer in the headlights. Oh, what do I do? You want to have planned it out a little bit, yet be spontaneous enough so that you can do something different every time if you want to. And how do you do that? By practicing these tools so well that you know them without thinking about them, like driving a car. When you first learned how to drive a car, you're thinking about every step you take. After a while, you're carrying conversation with your friend, changing the music and whatever else, and thinking about whatever you want while you're driving a car. You want to know the tools, chord tones and B blues scale, so well that they're not something you have to think about. So you can just think about, what do you want to express with that? Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day, and practice that. Just get with the track, and don't be afraid to just experiment. And when you have something that sounds cool, it's great. You can save that. And then if you really want to take it to the next level, practice all of the notes and all of the chords, just so they're second nature to you. And the same with the B blues scale. Just know it like the back of your hand, and then go back and try improvising, and you will be surprised how fun and easy it just falls off your fingers. All right, I'll talk to you next time.